Welcome to You Name It, starring us, these two guys with voices.
Hola,
Right,
Jerry.
Davin? There you go. Is it your plan to say "Hola, Jerry" as the first thing you say on every show?
Yeah, and Papa Wheelie is always my ending.
So you don't want to just start right up with any kind of random conversation?
No, that's how we roll.
What if I erased "Hola, Jerry" off of the beginning of everyone?
I don't know. I have a feeling we have a new listener, Jerry.
You're just gonna pay no attention to me again and go on with your own topics, right?
Well, you didn't. You told me you didn't have any, so I might as well keep rolling.
I was talking about the beginning of the show, and you just killed the conversation to go on to your new listener.
Well, we haven't. We actually haven't come up with a theme song yet. We still need to do that. I'm convinced we're never ever going to do a show about misunderstood lyrics because we always talk about it, but we always get too busy. I don't know how these morning shows do it, but then again, that's their job.
That's their only job. Yeah.
We end up getting way too busy to do shit.
I know. I was way too busy today, and I'll tell you the secret, the real reason why I'm even doing this show right now, because I have zero motivation, is that there was a surprise babysitting happening at my house right now.
Oh, nice.
So I went, well, since I can't relax and try and turn my brain off and watch TV, I'm just looking forward to doing the show then.
There you go. How was your holiday? Well, first of all, our surprise listener, I wanted to go back to that. I was listening to the local radio station here in Detroit, WRIF, and they actually brought up one of our topics.
Did they?
Do you remember Man Ejaculated from Vehicle?
I do. It was one of my favorite show titles ever. Man ejaculated from vehicle.
Yeah, they started telling that story. The DJ said that they got like 100 letters or emails or messages to bring that up as a topic. And we talked about it way before they did. So we're on the cutting edge of news and information.
It was probably our biggest listener, Bill Christensen, spelled correctly, probably called them up to ask them about it because he heard it on our show.
Nice. Hi, Bill.
I doubt it, but whatever.
Bill's down in Miami doing the Miami Auto Show, my favorite city.
Is that your favorite city to work in, is Miami?
It's my favorite city for a couple reasons. Because of the weather, we're on the ocean, we're on the beach, but he's getting fucked. The hotel's got the pool closed down, the hot tub closed down, all that shit. He doesn't get
the Royal Palm, the not so royal palms.
Wait till he sends out his laundry.
That's right. Last year, because there was other issues at that hotel last year, and on the show, I remember calling it the Royal Face Palm.
Exactly. I wonder if he realizes he can parkour all the way down all the balconies at that hotel.
Well, I know Bill, and I can guarantee you he can't parkour down any of those balconies. Because he might crush his gray balls if he tries to do that.
Then he would definitely be on the cover of Gray Ball magazine.
Damaged Gray Balls magazine. We might as well just talk to Bill. He's the only one that ever really gives us any feedback. So
that's true. I don't think Tony listens anymore. I think he's fed up with it. He told me today his drive-in, he only has a 20-minute drive into work, so he doesn't have time to listen to it. I'm like, well, you can listen to 20 minutes of it. That's pretty much the best part.
Yeah. Come on, the last 20 minutes are great.
That's true. We always come up with... That's when we're trying to figure out what the hell to call it.
Yeah.
So how was your Labor Day weekend?
Okay. That's a good topic. There's a place in Michigan called Michigan Adventures. It's got an S on the end of it, I learned. Oh. And we went there for a little family vacation with multiple factions of the family.
I've been there a couple times. It's good.
It was labeled, I don't know why, but my niece set it up and labeled it as a team-building exercise.
Nice.
Which I think is just funny. Hang on one second. I got to itch my ear. Yeah, that probably sounded gross for everybody.
Wet.
There's a big itch in my ear. Well, we have to wear two sets of headphones, so...
It sounded kind of wet.
in-ear headphones and over-the-ear headphones. Anyway, we'll get to headphones in a minute, but the team building exercise at Michigan Adventures was a giant sort of disappointment. Now,
okay, why?
I don't want any family members who are listening to get upset about that. I'm just comparing it to, it's owned by the same people who run Cedar Point, right?
Yep, correct.
So you go in there and you're expecting that sort of level of service.
Uh-huh.
And you are not getting that level of service. You are getting the last bit of summer. Everybody wants to get the fuck out of there.
Well, you
Every
went on,
student that works there wants to leave right now.
you went on Labor Day weekend, dude. What do you expect?
I expect it to be one of the busiest weekends out there and to have them fully performing.
Was it?
If you're paying for it to.
Was it super busy?
I would say from your description and other people's that it was pretty busy. Because you say when you go it's not always super busy.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to wait like 45 minutes to get onto the corkscrew.
Oh, yeah, that's super busy. No, we were like 10th in line. Every fucking ride.
Right. I mean, that's all. Like, you'd walk up to it and you'd wait for like 10 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this line stretched out and we had to wait, a long time. Oh, yeah, that's what you said. Yeah, that's super busy. I thought you were saying it's always super busy.
No.
But no, so and here's the problem. Because they were only running one train. So why weren't they doing the load up, send them off, bring in the next one, unload it, load them up, set it up?
Such bullshit.
They weren't doing it. So you have to wait through the entire ride, wait for them all to unload, wait for them to load up, and then go entire ride, unload, load up. They weren't doing it like they should, like they did with the with that sit down one, the Raging Hawk hormone or whatever the hell they call that thing. That was the best ride in the park, the one where you hang down underneath with your legs dangling.
Yep.
That's great, and that didn't take too long for us to get on. We got on pretty quick.
Are you a big roller coaster guy?
Not there. Because you go to Cedar Point and everything's all in tip-top condition. You go there, and those rides kick you in the balls the entire time you're riding it. Smash you in the face, punch you, and give you kidney punches and everything the entire ride.
Mm-hmm.
They're so rough. They shake you around like crazy, especially the wooden ones.
Yeah.
And you really feel beat up when you get off of that ride. It's just terrible. And you compare it to a regular coaster park where it's all nice and smooth and thrilling. This is not that.
See, I like that wood roller coaster that's right in the front, that first one.
Well, there's a little one.
No, I'm talking the big one, Thunder. I don't even remember what it's called, but that first one.
Yeah, the biggest one is actually towards the back of the right side of the park, and that's called Shivering Timbers.
Yep, that's the one with the three big hills.
Timber. With the what?
I think it's got like 3 big hills. It doesn't look like anything real special until you get on it, and then you're like, "Fuck me!"
Right. Well, it's the longest wooden roller coaster in the state of Michigan, which isn't saying much because how many roller coasters do we have? We have that park.
Yeah, Boblo closed, so yeah. I never went to Boblo when I was a kid.
I went one time, and I have no memory of it besides the ride on the boat a little bit. But no, I liked that roller coaster. It was a great idea if it didn't beat the fuck out of you the entire time you were on it. It really is super ridiculously rough. And when you rode it, did you feel like it was going like 5 miles an hour too fast the entire time?
Yeah, it is fast. It's super fast. You feel like you're going to fly out.
Yeah, it feels like it's too fast for the track. Like you're right on the verge of that thing breaking and busting and everything.
What is that wooden roller coaster that's at Cedar Point in Ohio? That
used to be, I know what you're talking about. They used to be the biggest one in the country or whatever.
Yeah, and they still keep it open, but it feels like the bar is going to lift up and it feels like you're going to fly out and it feels like you're going to be on, one of those movies like Final Destination where the roller coaster just flies off the track and everyone dies. Yeah.
That wasn't called the Beast, was it?
No, it wasn't the Beast. It was, shit. I cannot think of it. Someone message us on the Facebook page and let us know what the hell the name of that one is. but it's been like a staple.
It's called the mean streak.
Oh, that is the mean streak because it beats the fuck out of you.
Yeah, and it's the same as that one that we're talking about in Michigan Adventures, the Shiver Me Timbers.
Well, anything that has one of those lap bars that's universal, and
yeah,
I'm a little pudgy, and if my kids sit next to me, they're not really strapped in too well because the bar only comes down to my gut, you know.
Yeah, but you have individual ones on there. I don't know about the mean streak. You might be right about that one, but on the Shivering Timbers, I remember it because I wanted to have it tighter than it was, and it was a singular one that goes on your lap alone.
Okay.
But you know what? You might be right about the mean streak. That might have had just the one that goes across both of you.
Yeah, and then you got seatbelts, I think. But either way, it beats the shit out of you. And
you know what? You don't have seatbelts on the Shivering Timbers either. You didn't. I don't think you put a seatbelt on. I think you just did the lap thing. Oh. And it's supposed to hold you in there. It was shaped so you couldn't fall out.
Take your life in your own hands every time you get on. And
I did feel like every time you hit the peak of one of those little hills, that the whole thing was going to fly right off the tracks and kill you, like you're talking about.
Did you feel the wheels like picking up over the hills, over the arches?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because it would get caught up on those safeties that hang underneath it, the little L brackets that hold it onto the track.
Yeah.
It would always be like bam, and it was hard too. It would like. It's trying to fly off the track, and it's jerking you all around.
It doesn't want to be contained.
Brace when you get off of that thing. Yeah, that thing was stupid. But that wasn't even the worst part.
What's the worst part?
You talked last week about having the fill it up the whole buy one cup and you fill it the rest of the day for free, right?
Yeah.
Which is a great idea.
Yeah.
They're a little pricey, though, because I didn't buy the first day. My daughter Lindsay bought it, and I thought it said 2 cups, $12.99. I thought that was the deal. It wasn't. When I went back the next day and said, I'll get them today because we threw them out, because I thought, whatever, it's $1 to fill them on the second day. I'll just buy new ones. It was $12.99 each.
Yeah.
But the sign says 2 cups, $12.99 each.
Okay.
There are 2 cups for $12.99, real tiny little each on the end.
Oh.
But okay, so you get those. That's not the biggest deal. Who cares? $12.99. You're on vacation. You're planning on losing money.
And you're going to spend $4 a drink anyway. So as long as you refill it at least 5 times, you're covered. Or 4 times.
But if I would have known about the dollar refills, I would have done that the second day. I didn't even really know about it till the end. But here's the problem. You got a bunch of stations you could fill it at.
Yeah.
But the lines are long because the fucking idiots that are filling those cups will take like 5 minutes per person to fill these things. I don't even know what they're doing. And I'm not even lying I'm not putting it out bigger than it was. I would watch these people take the cup, scan the cup, stand there and look at the cup, go in the back, come back out, pick up the cup again, grab some ice, put the ice in the cup, set it down, walk away, come back, pick up the cup again.
You know what this
start
is, Jerry?
Filling it up with soda, and then they start on the second and the third cup that people had, and it was so irritating. It's like they're doing it on purpose because it was at every one of those booths.
I've got it figured out, Jerry. I've got it all figured out. These kids,
I can't wait.
These kids have worked all fucking summer there, and it's their last weekend to party before they have to go back to school, and they're the only fucking responsible ones that showed up for work because everyone else called in and said, fuck this. I'm not going to work. I'm not using them as a reference. I don't need them. I'm after this weekend, I'm done. I'm not working this weekend. Fuck it. So everyone that showed up to work had the fuck it attitude.
Yeah, they kind of did. They were just so slow. I just don't even get it. It was beyond ridiculous.
It's also Muskegon, which is like, it's like Deliverance, the Deliverance part of Michigan.
Yeah, right. Because I was actually going by the bathrooms and I heard someone going squeal like a pig.
Actually, my roommate at Central Michigan was from Muskegon, and he used to cut wood. He used to be a woodcutter. That was Running Bladder Ray. Do you remember me talking about him?
Bladder?
Running Bladder
No.
Ray. Oh, Running Bladder Ray was the one that would get so fucking drunk he would piss on people and piss in random spots. He wouldn't make the bathroom. He
would just piss in a house party somewhere in a corner or something?
Well, we were in the dorms at Central, and he slept on the top bunk, and my roommate Bob, who was a teak, he was in the fraternity. Bob basically moved his girlfriend Mary into our room. So there's four of us in these two little fucking rooms, and we got bunk beds, and they hung a sheet to cover them up so they could have sex. Well, they were having sex underneath Running Bladder Ray, and Running Bladder Ray got up, hopped out of the top bunk, pulled back the sheet, and pissed on them while they were having sex.
Yeah, great.
But he was from Muskegon. He only lasted a semester. He was not college material, trust me.
Oh, brother. Running Bladder Ray.
Running Bladder Ray. He pissed on, actually, Mary bought some new jeans and a bunch of new shirts and stuff at Express or one of those stores, and she brought it and she put it on Running Bladder Ray's chair, because we used to all sit around and get high and watch, God, what was the movie? Breakfast Club on VHS.
Yeah.
That was my college experience. And she set it on his chair, and he got up in the middle of the night, walked up, opened the bag of her brand new clothes, and pissed in it.
Crazy. Here's the show title. Running Bladder Ray will pee on you.
Exactly. Oh, and he'd puke, too. There was times where he would just vomit everywhere, go to bed, and you'd get up in the morning to go brush your teeth and get ready for class, and it'd be like, oh, my God, what the hell happened in here? It was like...
It sounds like you had the worst dorm room ever.
Yeah.
Because there's pee and vomit all over the place. And a guy who's doing it, and he's in your room on a bunk bed above you, peeing.
Yep. And then it was a weird clique. You know, when you sign up for the dorms, you have no idea what your roommates are going to be like. No freaking clue. And, okay, so I got Bob the Teak from River Rouge, who's an arrogant asshole, but he's, like, really popular. And he's got his...
Oh, you mean like me?
Yeah, just like you, Jerry. Just like you. Really popular.
And an arrogant asshole, yeah.
Then I got Hillbilly Running Bladder Ray, who's a woodcutter from Muskegon. And then I got Dave, who was it Dave? I cannot remember his name. He was from West Bloomfield. And he was the other roommate. And then you got me. So...
Well, it sounds like Dave didn't fit in.
No.
You notice how I left you in there, though.
Yeah, right. That's because
you and Running Bladder Ray and crazy asshole.
I get along with everybody. They should do a sitcom about dorms. They really should.
No, you do get along with everybody. It's amazing how well that you get along with everybody, because everybody out there in the world that I used to work in, and you still do, there's people everywhere that mention you all the time. So there's something weird about that.
I'm just laid back, and I'm happy all the time. I don't really get angry, super angry.
Are you giving all of those people sexual favors in some way or another?
I wish. Some of them. Oh, boy.
Because that does happen. But I'm guessing that because he wasn't mentioned very much, Dave from West Bloomfield, you could barely remember. He was probably the only normal one in that room, though.
Yeah.
Because no one remembers him.
And he came from a rich background. The one thing I do remember was we all took a roommate road trip, and we went to go see the Tigers in the World Series.
Yeah.
Because that was the same year that the Tigers went to the World Series, and we did a road trip.
That was 84? You wouldn't have been in college in 84.
Was it 84 or 86? They were in the playoffs then. It must have, we did this road trip for the playoffs then, and it was cool. That was like our only college bonding moment. All the rest of the time we were just watching Breakfast Club, getting stoned off of Bob's bong.
And trying not to get pissed on by Running Bladder Ray.
Running Bladder Ray. Yep, Running Bladder Ray.
I like that story. Although I don't know how much Bill Christensen will like it.
No, he probably won't. So I went camping. Of all things, I went camping this weekend.
Wait. Look, roll it back. Push it to the side.
Okay.
Because I didn't tell you the best part about the slow people. Because you got off on Muskegon with running Bladder Ray.
Okay.
But, so it's lunchtime. Now
Yeah.
I have to find a place to wait in line to go get food.
Okay.
Which, incidentally, if you'd like to get a hot dog and fries, and you want, one for you and one for your wife, so you want 2 orders of a hot dog and fries, it will be $29.
Oh. Did you go to that diner that's at the entrance of the park?
No, that was cheaper. The day before, we got like a couple. She got some like fried. What do they call those? Mini corn dogs and some fries, and I got a burger and fries, and it was cheaper than the little stand, the hot dog stand. But I go up to the hot dog stand, and there's 3 kids in front of me waiting for their refills, and that took 10 minutes.
Okay.
And the whole time that they're waiting, the dude who's supposed to be refilling it has got this giant wad of cash. He's probably like a 17-year-old kid, maybe even only 16. Giant wad of cash with rubber bands around it that goes into the register, right?
Okay.
So he's standing there fucking around, flipping through that money, trying to convince these kids that it's his or something. Just trying to act all cool, and it was taking forever for him. He'd stop, and he'd start counting, and he'd stop, and it would go on, and I finally just went, hey, how long is it going to take for you to count that cash? I'm behind all these other kids.
Right.
And oh, no, I just got to arrange it so I can put it in there. I go, I'm just wondering how long that's going to take. And Lisa's like, shut up, they're going to spit in our food. And I'm like, it's a hot dog. How are they going to get away with spitting on a hot dog?
Yep.
But I could not believe it. It was so stupid the way that place reels you in, and then all of a sudden you're waiting forever, and you think, all right, I can't be waiting any longer. And then, of course, you wait longer because of some idiot high school kid counting money, acting like a baller.
So you didn't do the parking lot trick where you went out to picnic or anything like that?
What do you mean, do the parking lot?
Well, you mentioned that Lisa wanted to go out to the parking lot to eat last week.
Oh no, yeah, we didn't leave just because that's kind of stupid. Plus, there's nowhere to eat around there.
Yeah.
You'd have to get in your car and drive for 9 miles to go find something to eat.
That's true.
So it wouldn't make any difference. But we did have parking lot activity I didn't count on. I walked out. Lisa went to the outside bathroom.
Okay.
I leaned on a garbage can and smoked, and as I smoked, I gazed out across the parking lot and saw a fight.
Oh, nice.
So there was this guy who was driving a giant white truck pulling a huge trailer.
Okay.
And he was outside of the trailer, and he was probably 25 years old, and he's fighting against a 15-year-old kid. Shirts off, falling all over the asphalt. And then, like, the 15-year-old kid's dad was there, it looked like, and he ran over there and pulled him apart. And it was a full-on stupid fight. And he pulled him apart, pushed the grown guy away, grabbed the kid, separated. There's words exchanged I couldn't tell. And the grown man with the truck got back in his truck and pulled around the corner.
Okay.
So then Lisa's out at this point, and we start walking through the parking lot because she's like, let's get out of here because I don't want to be in the line of fire. Because she thinks that someone's going to pull a gun, which is not a strange thought these days. Someone might pull a gun.
Especially in Muskegon.
Yeah, so we walk around and we get out, and as we're passing the guy's truck, he jumps out of the truck and he starts running his way back to the family that he was... Oh, yeah, there was like a mom trying to get in there, too, and she got shoved away and stuff.
So he didn't get enough. He decided he was going back for more.
Right, so he wanted to go back and continue his fun parking lot fight. The thing was that the dad type guy was probably 6'8", 300-something pounds.
Oh, wow.
He was huge. And this is the greatest thing that I've seen in fights for a long time in the real-life fighting world, not on the TV stuff, because it was like a movie.
So this guy looked like the giant in our office.
Yeah, he was totally that guy, just the big giant. And this is something that you see in movies, but you never expect to see in real life. The guy came charging up there, and the big dad guy, starts slowly walking towards him to meet him. And I thought, holy shit, the guy's going to punch him right in the face.
Just one punch and fall down and go. Hey!
No, and I thought the giant was going to get hit because he was all calm and he wasn't like getting into fight pose at all. Mm-hmm. He just was walking up, smoking, carrying his drink, and slowly walks right towards him, and then the guy rushes up there but stops cold dead in his tracks, and the giant leans forward to him and says, "You're not very smart, are you?" Like that.
Nice.
And I couldn't believe it. And then the guy starts like trying to explain shit and still be mad, but it's hard for him to be mad because he's terrified of the giant.
And how do you argue the not being smart part? Because you're pretty much an idiot. You left the fight, and now you're coming back to it. You're a fucking
coming
moron.
back acting like you're going to get right back into it, and the guy just says one sentence and kills all of your rage. Just because he was it worked out perfect because the guy was so calm and so confident. Just, "You're not very smart, are you?"
Oh, God.
And that ended our Michigan adventure.
Nice. Nice Michigan adventure. I went camping. I don't camp. I can tell you one thing. I would rather be in a 4-star hotel with room service and a hot tub and an indoor pool than camping. Camping, oh God, camping sucks. I don't know why people love fucking camping so much.
Now, did you grow up camping with your family at all?
No. My dad was a businessman. He traveled all over the country. He had a condo in Boca Raton. We had
oh, that's right. He was a spy. He was what we called him. He was like a black ops guy or what? He was a spook for the CIA, wasn't he?
Yeah, we had a condo in Hilton Head Island. So no, vacations were cool with my family, but in tennis and shit like that, and you don't do that. Going camping is like, you ever watch any episode of Cops?
Yeah.
It's like going to that neighborhood and pitching a tent, because that's what fucking camping is like on a holiday weekend in Michigan. You go there and
I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point, because you got all of the. So what you're saying in a nice way, and let me translate for the people out there. What Davin's trying to say, and doesn't want to be mean, is that all of the people who can't afford a hotel are now on the campground with him.
Exactly. But the whole thing is, I went camping with Paul from the Wonder Years, my friend Paul, and his friend John. John is married to Diana. We all grew up and hung out in high school together and all that other stuff. Diana's dad used to actually race. He used to be the driver for Miss Budweiser, so they've got money.
Okay.
So John brings up his camper. He got a brand new camper. He traded a boat for it, and he also brings his boat. He's got this little Boston whaler that we can tow the kids on and stuff like that. So he's got his family up there. And Paul's got his family up there, and he's got his camper. And it's going to be a great weekend. And we get there, and normally Paul gets a spot that's the same spot every year. We're close to the lake. We're close to the woods. It's quiet. This fucking asshole, somewhere in the campground, decides he brought a karaoke machine.
Okay.
And all the kids are singing karaoke, and he's got the powered speaker, and he's got it cranked up, and it's 9:30 at night, and you just want to sit around the campfire and drink and hang out and look at the stars, and we saw the northern lights over the lake and stuff like that. It's supposed to be peaceful. No, you got fucking people singing Katy Perry, 13-year-old girls, and it's cranked up so goddamn loud the whole campground could hear it. Finally, the DNR came in and shut them down. But it's fucking bullshit. And then John's campsite was on the other side, and they were camping right next to Al Qaeda. And
here we go with the racism bit.
Well, I'm convinced Al Qaeda and ISIS, they have this little playbook on how to fit into America. and they were on the camping playbook because these people had no fucking clue. It's like, it says we have to start the fire. You have to start the fire now. Page 88, start the fire. So they're trying to fit in, and the wife has got her whole head garb on and hidden, and they're trying to like, okay, now it says toasting marshmallows. We need to toast the marshmallows. How do you toast them?
No, hold on. So you're saying that these Middle Eastern people were like doing the trying out camping to be more American routine, and they went to probably like a closed borders bookstore and got How to Camp in America. And
by ISIS. Because everybody, all the rednecks around them are looking at them like they're fucking terrorists. And I feel so bad. It's like, that's not a vacation for you. No. When you start a fire, you don't use diesel fuel and lime and fucking...
No, I'm just thinking about step 1, put the tent up while yelling at the children.
Mm-hmm.
Step 2, pull out the Coleman grill and try and start that by pumping that tank really fast and then never being able to start it. Step 3, go down to buy some firewood from the campground house, whatever they call that thing.
Yep.
And then you got to start the fucking fire. So you're thinking that they're like going down a list of American camping and just to try it out. Do they have were they singing any campfire songs?
They tried to toast marshmallows and I don't know. It was it was really weird. It was like totally out of their element. What are trees doing here? There's no desert. I don't understand.
Pass me another Budweiser.
We have to look like we fit in. Yes.
Turn the baseball game on the radio.
Wave and say hello.
I don't know what kind of accent I'm doing.
So
I don't know what kind of accent you're doing either. I think we're doing some kind of weird half Russian, half Indian accent.
So one of the things was evidently last year when Paul went up there was tent campers next to us. It's a campground. You can camp in tents or trailers. There's people have the big, huge buses and all kinds of stuff. So Paul was sitting there, and these tent campers showed up, and this whole thing took place in about an hour and a half. The car pulls in, the trunk pops, the kids all get out, they're riding their little big wheels and their bikes. Everyone's happy. They break out the brand new tent that they just bought, and they try to set it up.
Uh-oh.
So the first half hour was trying to set up, and then realizing that they're missing a part or something's not working right. They're trying to read the directions. The wife starts bitching at the guy. He's getting pissed. He's yelling. The kids are all fucking screaming, running around like crazy engines. And so then over this hour and a half, they finally packed up the fucking tent, got in their car, threw everything in, and they left. They probably
went to a hotel.
They probably had the thing rented for the whole weekend. You know, they spent all the money on the holiday weekend and higher price to camp, and it was a total flop. Never fucking again. I can just see. It's like the Griswolds go camping.
I have fond memories of camping because we went as a family when I was a kid, and it didn't suck. Okay. And I think the reason it didn't suck was that my parents would always pick the time to go camping when all the other Ford Motor Company people that my dad would work with, they were all going with their families. So there's like 30 families going that they all knew. And go to Sleeping Bear or go to Caseville or whatever the hell it was. Yeah. But I remember some weird shit because it was so such a different time. We did the tent camping, and it didn't bother me to lay in the dirt. I always remember sitting around the fire and hearing Ernie Harwell's voice because they always had the ball game on. Uh-huh. Seemed like there was a baseball game on every minute that you camped somehow. But here's what I remember, too. When they had the big... Yeah?
Remind me of that because I want to bitch about Tiger Baseball and fucking Kirk Gibson. But go ahead.
Okay. So we were not the rich family, but I remember somebody had one of the RVs, which probably, in my memory, it was this big extravagant RV, but it was probably pretty simple for the times because that was like 1970 76 or 75 or something like that, right?
Okay.
So I remember going down to look at it because it was a big deal that somebody had one instead of a tent or a pop-up camper.
Right.
And this is the thing that sticks out in my mind. I go and I look, and they had a TV, and that was amazing to me that somebody had a TV at a campground.
Yep.
And on the TV was Steve Martin singing the song King Tut.
Nice.
And it was just at whatever year that was that song broke big, then you could see him singing it. Young people won't understand because you heard a lot of stuff on the radio back then, but never saw anybody performing this stuff unless it was a special or whatever.
Right.
So seeing that and then going back to my tent was discouraging. Also, I was turned on to Alice Cooper during a camping trip.
Nice.
Where these two older guys, so like I was probably 9 or 10 and these guys were probably 14 or something like that. They had these cassette tapes with Alice Cooper albums on it.
Okay.
And I'd hang out with them and try and be cool like the older kids. And I eventually talked my mom into giving me money so I could buy the cassette tapes off of them for $1 a piece. You know, I bought like 5 tapes of 10 Alice Cooper albums or something like that.
Nice.
And it was so stupid to even do that, really. But because they were just like a cassette recorder that was leaned up against a speaker recording the record. They weren't store-bought. They were made at home cassette tapes.
Homemade, yeah. We used to dub albums back in the day and put them on cassette for people and charge them like $10 if you want to.
Would you do it
your mix
like with a cassette recorder hooked up to the turntable, or would you do it with the outside, lean it up against the speaker?
No, we would do it actually real. It was like it was plugged in. It was quality stuff, and it was before iTunes and all that other stuff. But yeah, that's how we would record it.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of options. People used to record the radio with a standalone cassette recorder just in the room too. So this was really dumb. To this day I like Alice Cooper music, but really it was just to be cool and hang out with those guys. And I remember I can't remember exactly. Oh, they told me they were in a band called Blitz. So stupid. I even called one of those guys from a payphone for some reason after I got back from... Oh, because they were long distance. So how did I do it? I tricked the payphone. I called the operator and said that the payphone ate my money. I was trying to make a long distance phone call. So I did social engineering and told them that I put $1.50 into the phone. And it took the money and I wanted to make this call and they just put the call through.
Okay.
Because if I called from the house phone, I couldn't make long distance phone calls. For you kids, there used to be something called a long distance phone call. And it would cost you a lot more money to call to a different county than it would,
They still have that shit in hotels too. It's like, who uses the hotel phone to call long distance? I don't get it.
I remember calling and talking to this idiot about his band Blitz that didn't exist. My tainted youth.
Well, the kids went to John's camper during this camping trip, and they wanted to watch some Barbie movie. I'm like, that's the only DVDs that they had was this Barbie movie.
Yeah.
And Paul kept telling John, just put your antenna up. Put your HD antenna up, and you'll be all set. And John's like, it's a brand new camper for him. He doesn't know anything. He's got this DVD player, and Kendall's calling me. I'm sure he's telling all the girls because it's all girls. It's all girls and Kendall. And he's telling the girls, well, I'll get my dad to come over and he'll fix it. So I come over there and I look at this thing and I'm like, he's got a DVD player that does not have an HDMI out. That's how old this fucking DVD player is.
They just had coax out of it?
Yeah. I'm like, well, you don't have the right cables to hook it up, so I can't really help you. He's like, okay, so what do I need to buy? Well, you need to buy something from this century.
Yeah, you need to buy a new DVD player.
Or check with Al-Qaeda next door. Maybe they have one you can borrow.
Yeah, did his antenna have... It probably came down to an RF port on the wall in there, right?
Right,
in the little cubby. But he didn't have a coax cable to hook that up either, did he?
The coax cable was there, but he didn't know how to raise the antenna. So I don't know if they ever raised the antenna. Paul's got Well, the first time I ever went camping with Paul, he breaks out this fucking bug spray shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this? He's got one of those little green propane tanks hooked up to this bug sprayer, and he sprays the entire fucking campground where he's parking his
Yeah.
This is when he had a pop-up. Now
Maybe
he's got
not a bad idea, because we used those before when it was super mosquito season. Yeah.
But he fumigated the whole campgrounds.
Yeah, I'm sure the neighbors loved having that blow into their faces.
It's not normal camping. We had some people tent camping behind us that were from Charlotte, Michigan, which is another dirtbag hole in the wall fucking redneck place.
Yeah.
And it was like the teen. She looked like she was 18 or 19, and she already had a kid that was like 4. And he was sleeping in the Spider-Man tent, and they were sleeping in the big tent getting laid next to him.
Yeah.
It's like, it's time to go to bed, honey.
Hey, I got something that wraps together both amusement parks and camping.
Okay.
You just reminded me of it. I used to live in this parking lot. There was a standalone building like from the 20s in Garden City, and it was in the middle of this parking lot, and there was a barber shop that faced the front, and I lived in this little apartment behind the barber shop. And then there's a second floor on top of it where you had 2 other apartments.
Okay.
It was a really weird building, but I had no lawn or anything. It was just in the middle of this parking lot. And at one point every year, the church would have this carnival come with all the rides and everything, and they would set up there, and then the whole parking lot would go crazy because people would park out there, and I hated it and never went to the carnival. But I sort of talked to some carnies out in the parking lot that were in a van, right?
Okay.
And, kind of made friends with them for that one day. I think I might have had a beer with them or something like that. The next year, the guy comes back, and it's a kid, like maybe 19 years old. Okay, the year before he was there with his dad. This year he comes back with his new wife.
Okay.
And he parks in the parking lot, and that's where they lived. They lived in the van. And then they were bugging me to come into my apartment and take showers and stuff like that.
Living in the van down by the river.
Yeah, they were camping in my parking lot and using my shower because I couldn't say no to some. Oh, she was pregnant. He got her pregnant, and they got married, and now he's got her on the road as a carny with him. And I'm like, I can't let the pregnant girl not have a shower, so I had to do that. But what a life is that? Can you imagine that life? Your life, you're a corporate carny, Davin.
Yes, I am.
You get to stay in high-end hotels with room service like you talked about and do the shitty carny work. Yeah. They have to live in a van in a parking lot and do harder carny work. It's crazy.
Well, there's the church where I used to live in Berkeley. There's a church right behind us, and it was our Catholic church. And they do all these festivals and stuff like that. But for Christmas, they do the Christmas tree sale. And they look for the students to volunteer to help sell the Christmas trees. You cut the ends off. You cut some of the dead wood off. You bag it.
For like the band, I would do that. Every year we do a Christmas tree sale. So
everyone that's in the athletics department has to volunteer for one night. Well, they've got this little shitty piece of shit 1978 camper that they sit in with these little portable heaters, and they live there for like 2 or 3 weeks while they're selling these Christmas trees in the lot. And Kendall is so excited about going there, and it's like it smells. You go in, it smells like old grandma cotton ball, And it's like these people live there, and they don't shower. I'm like, I want to say our house is like right behind them, behind the church garden. Just come over and shower, but it's, oh God, disgusting. I don't know why people love camping so much. I would rather shove a fork in my fucking eye. The only thing I like about camping is the fire and drinking. And Paul, every goddamn night, was sitting with his sandals up on the edge of the fire.
Yeah.
And I should have taken video of it. because every night his sandal started melting, and you could see the smoke pouring off of it. And he doesn't realize that his foot's going to be on fire in about 2 minutes if nobody says anything. I should not have said anything to him. I should have just watched his foot burn.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Paul from the Wonder Years.
Paul from the Wonder Years. You know what? I think that's probably about our time.
I'm pretty sure it is. And Randy and Paul are coming over to shoot darts right now, so I think it's about time too.
Randy and Paul from Wonder Years?
Yeah, Randy McHale.
Yep.
From our office, the famous Randy McHale.
If he would have only came over like an hour earlier, then he could have been on the show.
Yeah, he would have had fun on it.
Yeah, next time let's just make people show up at your house so they could be on there, like that one time.
And jump on, yeah.
Yeah, like with Maria Sangria.
Maria Sangria.
Maria Sangria.
That was a good episode. Did we get a lot of downloads on that episode?
I don't remember.
We'll have to look that up tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. But for this week, hopefully everybody's happy with that episode titled Running Bladder Ray Will Pee on You.
Exactly.
Share it with your friends. How could you not with a title like that?
Camping with Michigan Adventure and whatever.
Everybody, we'll see you next week. Davin, I'll see you tomorrow at work.
Yes, indeed. Papa Wheelie, guys.